When you have hair loss, it can be such a scary and deceivingly lonely place. But you know what? You're not alone. You are here with me. Welcome to the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. Hi, I'm Debra Heim. I am a certified alternative hair specialist, a wig boutique owner, and wig wearer myself due to alopecia. And this is my Tell It Like It Is take on all things alternative hair. I also happen to be a certified confidence coach, so I'm going to be sprinkling in some mindset hacks for good measure. So take a deep breath, sit back and relax, and listen to my favorite ways and my best advice on how I help others and help myself to rock that alternative hair. We're going to drop that shame and stigma. What is that about anyway? Now, let's do this. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this week's episode of The Alternative Hair Alchemist. This is Debra Heim. You can find me at Debra_Heim on Instagram and at www.debraheim.com and www.verybestlittlehairhouse.com. So, this week, I wanted to talk about things that are kind of related to confidence. Now, one of the reasons I decided to shift more into coaching for confidence and happiness is because along the way at the shop, I noticed that finding the alternative hair was just part of a small problem. The amount of limiting beliefs and the anxiety and just the general things that women everywhere are going through unnecessarily, well, there are ways that you can think yourself through it. So one of the things I see people do quite a bit is second guess. So I'm going to relate it this week by talking about like trying to decide between 2 or 3 styles of wigs. But all of the things I'm talking about here, you could just apply it to any area of second guessing. When it happens in the shop, I would ask the person, well, do you generally second guess yourself? And I heard, oh yeah, all the time. So let's talk about why that happens and some of the practical steps that you can take so that it doesn't happen too often. Okay, first of all, when you get it down to 2 or 3 choices, you might even be able to apply this to what you're looking at online. Reason it out. Like, think about, is this going to be hair for a certain situation? Or is this, like, for example, maybe you want some that you can wear to work, or maybe going out, or for a certain look. So that is going to factor into it. Now, some of this stuff might seem like common sense, but you know what? Sometimes when it comes to choosing your hair, common sense goes out the window. So consider what you need it for. Which one of them has more features that you can use? Because we all know alternative hair, sometimes there's a little bit of a compromise in style and color. So, weigh out the advantages and which one you're going to like more. Now, let me tell you this, though. Whichever one you choose, you're going to tend to think that the other one would have been a better choice. Trust me on this. I've seen it a number of times over 5 years. And let me tell you why that happens. It's your expectations when you buy something. Sometimes when you get into the reality of the situation and something will go wrong, your memory will romanticize the other choice. Now, this kind of thing also happens with no matter what you're second guessing about, but your memory will kind of think that, oh yeah, the other thing was the better option. But here's the thing. Whatever decision you make is not a final decision. And my ultimate solution to the problem is to get more than one wig or more than one topper. Let's face it, you're going to need more, especially if you're living life in alternative hair. And the more and more women I can get to think like that, that would be great, because women have this mindset of, I only need one. I'm only allowed to have one. I'm going to make it work for everything. And, if I can help coax you out of that to the point where you're treating yourself much better, well, I'm going to be happy about that. And here's an affirmation for you to write on a Post-it note, keep it near your computer or what have you. It is, I trust myself to make the right decisions. Now, when you start with something like that, you don't have to repeat it over and over to yourself all day long. But when you put something in the back of your mind, in your subconscious, believe me, your subconscious takes note and you will start to work that knowledge into your everyday. It just happens, trust me. Like, keep the Post-it note where you can see it. Gently think about your affirmation a couple times a day, and you will be surprised how it can really integrate. So, some of the other things you can do to help reduce second guessing in your life, if you're a second guesser. Number one is to work on your self-esteem. Now, when I say the word self-esteem, people, oh yeah, I already know about that. Yeah, I have that. But really, it is the deep down inner belief that you are okay with yourself as you are. And almost everybody has one area of self-esteem that they need to work on, myself included. And how do you do that? You can remember what's good about yourself. Every time you think something bad about yourself, think something good to counteract it. Make a list of your positive features, your qualities, things you like about yourself. And trust me, just do this. Even do it tonight. Just make that list out so that you can start looking at it when you get down. It makes a huge difference. And then the more you can get it in your head, the good qualities about yourself, the more it will be your regular state of mind. Trust yourself. Now, in order to do this, maybe check out your history of choices. There's probably going to be a situation or two or more where you feel you made the bad decision. And what you're going to need to do is just reflect on that and forgive yourself. Almost any decision isn't permanent. And I'm sure someone will come up with something to, argue that point. But for the most part, there isn't any decision that you can't make over. You can change your mind 10 times a day. You can always get another choice in whatever it is that you're getting. And here is a big thing you can do. Learn from your mistakes. That is the one good thing that can come out of a situation where you get either alternative hair or something else you didn't like, is you are going to learn from that. You're going to know what doesn't work for you. You're going to hopefully know what features about it that you liked, like maybe it fit, and that's going to give you some clue, because this whole thing, whether it's life, whether it's your alternative hair journey, it is a journey. It's a process. And the more you learn, the better and better your choices and your looks are going to get. Next thing is challenge those negative thoughts. Now, even I myself have them, and I say I myself because I help other people to rewrite their negative beliefs, but it happens to me too. And as soon as that thought comes in my head, like this might happen when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, this doesn't look good on me. Challenge that thought. Ask yourself, is this true? Because most of the time it is not true. It's just how you're perceiving it. But bottom line is you can replace your doubt with positives. Take small steps. Like maybe you don't want to change your colors completely, but just take a step in that direction. When you start small, when you celebrate your accomplishments, that is how you make progress. And before you know it, you will be wearing all different kinds of styles and looks because it gets addictive. Remember what I said about, the advantages and disadvantages? Work on your skills on that. Like maybe make notes about the styles that you're looking and look at it on paper. And when you enhance how you make your decision, one of the things I always look at now, and this might be helpful to you, when you look at the picture of the wig, look particularly at the top, because if there's permatease, that's where you're going to see it. If there's extra height, if you're like I don't want a boof type person, look at the crown of the wig. Now, the more you order wigs and they come in, then the more you're going to be able to tell. But that is one thing I always look at, is like, what is the height of that hair at the top of the wig? Keep in mind that you're not perfect. If you make a bad decision, remember, like I said, it is not permanent and you're going to learn from it. And another thing you can do is seek some help, like myself. With coaching and confidence and happiness, we will talk one-on-one about those things, and I can help you. First of all, you tell me what's going on. I will intuitively go through and see, where your energy needs to be adjusted. Maybe there's something that you're telling yourself that isn't true. And boy, have I learned this working with people in person. Women come in with such a distorted view of themselves. And you have to realize, when you look at yourself, when you think about your past, you are looking at it through distorted lenses. Let's say, when you have glasses and they get all filthy and you look through them, nothing looks as good, but then when you clean your glasses. So sometimes a session with me is essentially cleaning the glasses that you look at yourself through. And it really does help. Now, by all means, if you are getting therapy, that is one thing, and please don't stop. Think of my assistance as something that goes along with what you're doing to help you thrive. I mean, the word coaching in itself is to coach or help someone to be successful, just the same way that a sports coach coaches somebody. So anyway, hopefully I've said something that helped you this week. If you like the podcast, leave a review and share it with a friend. And until next week, peace, love, and alternative hair. If you enjoyed this episode, you might like working with me one-on-one even better. You can check out the options at debraheim.com. You can find my shop at verybestlittlehairhouse.com. And don't forget my Wise Wig Advice and Support group, also on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, peace, love, and alternative hair.